lads, welcome back to another video. This one is a requested video actually. I wasn't really going to do one of these because I thought it was maybe just slightly too much effort. I think I was going to do it more based on the full SPFL and go through every single team's kits in the one video. So maybe this is a slightly more condensed way and a better way to do it, and it gives me less work to do for one full video. But if you do want to see me do a Premiership kits reaction, then please do hit 40 likes on this video. That's the target I'm going to set for you, and if you can do that, then Premiership kit reaction will come out on Tuesday. But without further ado, let's head in to the Scottish Championship kit reaction video. I'll just give my opinion on all of them and let you know what I rate them out of 10 and stuff like that. So let's go on with it. So the first one is Dundee United. You're going to see it pop up on your screen right now, somewhere to the left or right of me, and I'm going to be talking about it as I'm looking at it on my phone here. And it's basically a white number with a black collar, a few wee black kind of things here and there, a few wee black features, full black shorts of course, and here it is modelled by Jamie Robson playing in the recent friendly against Dumbarton. I think it works. I don't really see much wrong with it at all. I actually like the whole kind of colour scheme of it, and I like the wee touches of black they've added into it as well. Of course I'm going to like a black and white kit because I support Dunfermline, but I do think this works really well, and Dundee United have done a good job with this kit. I'd probably rate this one a solid 9 out of 10. I've always said in life nothing's perfect, and this is probably one of the away kits in the league that is very, very close to that, along with a couple of others. But yeah, 9 out of 10 for the Dundee United away kit. In terms of the home kit, they actually haven't released that yet. They put up a tweet yesterday saying that the home kit would be debuted a week yesterday, so I've not really got the time to wait for that to come out just to talk about one kit, considering every other championship club has pretty much released their kits for this season. So next up is Dundee, and it is yet again another white number, and it's basically just a carbon copy pretty much regarding a few different details. There's like slight wee things that are different in the kit from the Dundee United one, but in general it's pretty much the same as the Dundee United one. I can't really rate it much different for that in that case. 9 out of 10. It works for Dundee's colours as well, because obviously the dark blue wee tinges in it instead of the black that Dundee United had. So aye, 9 out of 10. And then the home kit for Dundee, they've actually released theirs, and again this is modelled in a more plain situation than the rest of the pictures. The rest of the pictures are more of the model pictures, but I decided to take these ones just to see what the full kits looked like in action when you'll actually see them more often than in a model type situation. So here's Dundee's home kit, and again, full navy blue. Are you really expecting much else with Dundee? Nice wee kind of collar bits here and there and that. There's nothing wrong with it at all, and it's nothing special, so I'm not going to make it as high as 9, but it's a solid kit for Dundee, so I'm going to make that in an 8 out of 10. Next up, Ayr United. Both their home and away kits are featured in this photo, and I've got to say, even though they are obviously the exact same design, I think they both work in the exact same ways, and I would rate them both a solid 8.5 out of 10. 8.5 out of 10 for these two, because I just think the colours are really nice, and again, black and white. I'm going to be a fan of black and white. I even like black and white and dark sort of stuff when I wear it just in general clothing, and Ayr, that's obviously their colours. They've not deviated very much from their usual sort of colour scheme and stuff like that. And the away kit, I do love a red away kit. Next up is Inverness's, and I'm actually going to start with their third kit, because it's probably the best one out of the lot. They've actually got really nice kits this year, and I'm assuming with their away and home kit, I think they're just going to keep them the same as last season, but we'll get onto them in a minute. The third kit is first up, and I've got to say they've done an absolutely fantastic job with this one. And even the picture itself, the backdrop of, I'm pretty sure that must be Inverness, it's just outstanding if I'm being quite honest. Is the badge in full colour, or is it like out coloured? Because I think that's probably the only thing that is slightly putting me off the kit, if anything. But it is one of those ones that's upper echelon in this league, and it's probably the best kit that's been released in the championship. I'll give it a solid 9.5 out of 10, because honestly, it is very near being perfect. Next up, as I said, it's the similar kit to, well, it's the exact same kit as last season as far as I'm aware. I've not seen anything about their new away or home kits. So there's their away kit up on screen right now. Same as last season, as I said, and I actually really do rate this as well. They've got some really nice kit designs over at Inverness, and again, I'd probably rate this one a solid 8.5 out of 10. As with the Air ones, sort of in between that range of 8 and 9. Another very classy looking kit for Inverness. And then their home kit, as I said, the same as last season. I think it's a very nice kit. They've had a few kind of weird ones throughout their couple of last years and that, but I rate this one quite highly, and I'll rate it a solid 8 out of 10. It's not like outstanding in my eyes, but it is a very solid kit, and it's got some classy wee features in it, like I said, with the away and definitely the third kit. Overall for Inverness though, fantastic set of kits, and if I was to give them an overall rating, I'd probably give it an 8.5, in between that range of 8 and 9 yet again. They've got to get a round of applause, because they've done a fantastic job this year. Unless they go and release away and home kits, because they could completely ruin it at that point. Next up is Mutton. The home kit is the same as last season's, and it's sort of grown on me as times went on, but I don't think I'm fully sold by it, even now. Considering I've seen it for a year now, I'm still not sold on it at all. So I'm probably going to give this one a 7 out of 10, and it's probably pushing it to get that, because I'm just not that big a fan of it as a design. And then their away kit. I do think this really works, and despite my feelings about Dunfermline's yellow away kit, I feel like Mutton have done a really good job with their version of a yellow away kit, and the blue mixes in really well with the yellow. Of course, they're contrasting colours, so it really does work, and I really rate it actually. I'm going to give that one probably an 8 out of 10, because it does really work, but it's just not that next level, in my opinion anyway. Fun fact, I entered a competition for Mutton's away kit the season before last, and got into the last 8 and was featured in the Greenock Telegraph in the wee competition, and the fans voted on which away kits they wanted to go into the final 4, I think it was. Mine didn't quite make it, but hey ho, I could have actually had my kit design being worn by Mutton players at one point. What a weird situation that would have been. Next up is Partick Thistle, and their home and away kits obviously. The home kit, I think it's just a standard kit, if I'm being quite honest. The only feature that I really quite like about it is probably the wee cuffs, the wee bits on the sleeves, quite like the things I've got here with the wee black and white bits. They've got their colours of black, yellow and red, so that's probably the only bit I really rate about it. As a kit, I'll probably give it a 7.5 out of 10. It's not anything really special to me at all, and it's definitely not anything that's horrendous or anything like that. 7.5 out of 10, it's a decent enough rating, I suppose. And then their away kit, modelled by your man Joe Cardle. Dunfermline fans are crying themselves to sleep right now. Anyway, the away kit, a white number, and they've got a few wee, again, black, yellow and red wee tinges in it. It's a nice wee kit, and I'll probably give this one an 8 out of 10. I like it just more than their home kit this year. They've put it together well, and the collar looks a bit weird shaped, but apart from that, it's a nice kit. So now we move on to the big guys, Dunfermline. Their home and away kits all in the one picture. As you know, I love the home kit, and I think in my video that I did about it when I reacted to it, I think I gave it a 9.5 out of 10, and I'm going to stick with that because I've since bought the kit, I wear it myself, and I'm probably going to wear it to every single Dunfermline game this season. I love it. 9.5 out of 10, I can't say much else. And then the away kit, I think I'll grow on it as time goes by, but it'll be like the Mutton home kit that's been here for a year now. I think that I'll just never really like it a lot, so I'm going to up it from the rating that I gave it before. I think I gave it like a 6.5 out of 10 or something like that back in the reaction video when it first came out. I'll bump it up to a 7 this time, because I just don't think that it's one that's going to ever fully grow on me. Now we're on to Queen of the South, who I will say they don't have a great social media in terms of finding out what their kits are all about, because the last thing that I seen was the vote for which away kit was going to be made official, and I think I seen something somewhere about this one being the kit that was eventually chosen, but I couldn't see anything on the website regarding it, so I'm just guessing that this is the one that's been chosen, but if I'm wrong, fair enough. I like it a lot. I like the tartan aspect of it, and I like the redness of it, etc, etc. I think it's a really, really nice kit, if I'm being quite honest, and I think I'm going to rate it a 9 out of 10. I think it's really, really nice, and the only thing that could ruin it now is if this isn't their actual away kit and one of the other choices gets voted in, because the other choices I wasn't as big a fan of. And then the Queen of the South home kit, I think it's going to stay the same as last year, and who better to model it in the picture next to me than good guy Stephen Dobie. If it's going to stay the same as last year, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's a very nice looking kit and it's very Queen of the South, so again, 8 out of 10. Alloa is up next, my local team, and I think they've stuck with the same overall design for their home kit this year. They've changed sponsor on their kit, but that's probably about the only change within the kit. Like with the Queen of the South one, it's very Alloa, and aye, a solid 8 out of 10 for the home kit because there is really nothing wrong with it. And then they have brought out a new away kit this season, and I've got to say, it's another white number, so I'm obviously going to like it. And even though it's a quite basic design, it's probably one that's been chosen from the Pendle catalogue. Their sponsor on the kit is Pendle, so it's probably one that's been chosen straight for the catalogue, but I do rate it, and again it'll get an 8 out of 10, because it is nothing special, but I do like it as a kit. And finally, for this year's wee championship kit reaction is Arbroath, and they're both kits in the same picture right next to me now. And their away kit is very similar to Alloa's, just slight wee changes in different things, like the colour is more across the top half of the chest / shoulder area, and then it's just a white number with a sort of navy blue sort of tingy colour to it. Again, it's a nice kit, and I'll give it the same as the Alloa one at 8 out of 10. And the Arbroath home kit, it's another one that's very like the team that's wearing it. It's very Arbroath, and it's a basic kit, and it'll get an 8 out of 10 as well. As I said, there was really no failures in the championship this year. There was none that I really don't like. The Dunfermline one and the Mutton home kit are probably the only ones that I'm really set to be sold on. That's about the only ones that were really sort of dodgy for me, but in general, there's a lot of nice classy kits in the championship this year, and ones that I'm really a big fan of. But aye, that's it for this video guys. Cheers for watching. If you did enjoy it and you do want a Premiership kit reaction on Tuesday, hit the like button and hit 40 likes by Tuesday morning, let's say, and I'll get that video out to you on Tuesday. Comment down below what was the best kit in the championship for you this season, and subscribe for more of this type of content. And until the next video, which will hopefully be the Premiership kit reaction on Tuesday, I'll see you then. Cheers guys.